You ready to go? Start right here, front row, right here.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was cool because I just want to be up in this chair. And I was thinking, I was going through my mind, like, well, what would I have valuable to ask or say? I just want to be up in this chair. And I've been feeling so worthy, so steady in my worthiness, that I could just want to be up in this chair and say hi and thank you and I love you and my life is amazing. My life is so amazing. I found your teachings 6 years ago when I was at my lowest low, and it was an instant 180, and the trending that my life has been having and the speed at which everything is picking up, and my steadiness and my knowing of all is well for me and for everybody, and my worthiness and everybody's worthiness, and my ability.
Are you watching her receiving?
My ability to have what I want and not have to earn it or deserve it. To, when I hear in my head of, either in my head or reflection from somebody of, you should do this, you need to do that, my knowing that that's when, for sure, not that. What do I want to do? And to do that. And allow things to just magically appear in my lap.
Magically is a fine word. Let's add logically to that.
Yeah.
Let's add normally to that. It's just the way it goes, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And I love it. And I love you. And
yeah, really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good. There it is. All right, there's too much happiness in this room. Our friend didn't have a question, but she's the most important thing that's happened in the seminar so far, maybe all week long, because she demonstrated her natural and easy connection with who she is, and she demonstrated it with a flow that was delightful in every way. She's an example of everything that everyone wants.
Okay, I created this, I manifested this. This is like, oh my God. I mean,
good job.
This was my...
You were lighted up over there, all lighted up. It was obvious to us.
I mean, my whole question is calibrating to the next level of everything, all that you talk about, and buttons and, what is it, castles, and there's castles that, yeah, okay, there it is. Part of me that doesn't believe I can have a castle, and this is...
Well, then let's take the castle and the button out of the equation,
okay,
and let's talk about what you're really calibrating to. What are you really calibrating to? The feeling that your inner being feels. That's what you're calibrating to. You're calibrating to a feeling that exists because of the relationship of your inner being's perspective on you and your life, and your perspective on you and your life. That's what your emotions are. Your emotion is a feeling that is created by physical chemistry in your body, that is created by vibrational things that are happening in your body, that is happening because your inner being has one vibration and you have same or varied vibration. That's what all of your emotions are. So you're calibrating to resonance with what your inner being knows. But in order for that to make sense to you, you have to trust a few things or know a few things. You have to know that your inner being's been with you every step of the way, that your inner being rode every rocket that you sent to your vortex, that your inner being knows what's there, your inner being knows you completely, your inner being knows where you are in relationship to everything you want. So your inner being is just looking around your universe like you're looking around your universe, but your inner being is looking right at the path of least resistance, meaning the easiest way for you to get to where you want to be from where you are. And you can't see the path, and you can't hear it necessarily unless somebody's explaining it to you in this way, but you can feel it. You can feel when it clicks into place. So if you're not trying to get too far out ahead and figure it all out, but instead you're just saying, well, this feels really good, and this feels really good, and this feels really good, then it begins to flesh itself out. Literally flesh itself out. Does that make sense to you?
I'm believing you. I'm believing. That part of me that's doubted is really believing, taking it in.
You see, when you say, I want a castle, got plenty of buttons, but I want a castle. But it's easy to believe in the buttons because they're readily available, but not so easy to believe in castles. Mm-hmm. And we say, well, we're not asking you to believe in the castle. We're asking you to desire it, if you do. And if you do, it's in your vortex. And if it's in your vortex, it's calling you. But what you're calibrating to is the feeling that's taking you to it, not to it. It might be too big of a jump for you. You're just calibrating to the path of least resistance. More positively said, to the path of most allowance. It's the same path. One just is what your inner being's calling you to. Your inner being knows what all your hang-ups are. And your inner being will call you around those hang-ups. And your inner being knows what your passions are. So your inner being is calling you along the most pleasant, good feeling, fun path. Humans think, I want a castle and I want to go directly there. And we say, well, you could want a castle and go directly there. Where do you want it to be? I don't know. Well, then you can't quite go directly. How big do you want it to be? I don't know. Well, then you can't exactly go directly. Are you going to live alone, or are other people going to live with you? Well, I haven't really decided. Well, then you can't go directly there. Is it going to be a winter castle or a summer castle? Well, I don't know. Well, then you can't go directly there. In other words, there are a lot of things that you think you would just like to go directly there. So then when you start thinking about what you want and why you want it, do you want a castle because you're wanting to prove to the world that you're a good creator? Or do you have solid, significant, good, validated use for a castle? We know it's just a metaphor in this case.
Right. Yeah, it's the feeling. The feeling comes first. It's just I have such a desire, and when I feel the desire, it feels so delicious.
And why? We have a hunch, and we're going to see if we can extract it from you. It's not a hunch. We kind of sort of really know. Well, we'll just say it. See, there's two ways that this goes. So we'll give you multiple choice here. Sometimes people genuinely want something and they're looking for the process to help them get there. Sometimes people want to prove their worthiness by getting something.
Oh. Okay, so you're asking me which of those it is, worthiness or... Well, I'm sure there's some worthiness in there.
Are there things that you really want that you're just trying to figure out how to line up with them? Or have you decided to be a deliberate creator and you want to be connected to your inner being?
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
But you can't get there from there. In other words, I would like to prove my value and worthiness from this place of not value and not worthiness by creating this thing that I don't believe I can have.
All right.
But if I win the lottery, I'll share it, is what most people say. Much of what we are offering as we play like this is our absolute knowledge of your ability to be or do or have anything. That's just not up for question. And then we want to find the path of least resistance for you to find your way into knowing that and trusting that.
Yes.
So you want to tell us what you know about the laws of the universe that make you feel like maybe you can be or do or have anything that you want?
Well, it feels like it's more, I feel it more of a feeling. It feels so good.
Is it a feeling of confidence?
It feels like everything, it just feels so open. And when I trust that, my heart opens and I just feel like everything.
So isn't that as good or better than a castle? And isn't that feeling why most people want a castle? We don't know anything that anybody wants that they want for any other reason than they think they will feel good when they get it.
Right.
So if you've already got that feeling,
So that's
then
the castle. You're right.
there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's going on with you is you want to calibrate to that, because there's a whole lot more in your vortex that can manifest. We're talking about things that you will have feeling response to as they manifest. So you just want to keep calibrating, meaning just calibrating to your inner being, meaning just keep doing your best to feel as good as you can feel. Because most people are calibrating to what other people think about what they think. That's a hard habit to break.
Yes.
But you've already broken it. We can tell by the way you're reaching for the feeling. And so the feeling is enough. It's like, haven't some of you, we hear it from a lot of you in a lot of different ways, where you're feeling pretty good and you're not sure that you should just be feeling this good under these conditions. Like, shouldn't I be trying harder? I feel so satisfied and contented, and shouldn't I be making something happen, or shouldn't I be struggling a little more? And we say, if you can accept this absolute premise, you lived, you explored, you launched rockets of desires. There are many rockets of desires in your vortex that have become cooperative components to each other. And each of the rockets that you launched has now become more than the rocket it was when you launched it, because now every request that you made, every desire that you hold, has become a cooperative component to others. And so your desire has expanded beyond your comprehension. Does that make some sense to you? Can you feel that a little bit? So you can no longer specifically identify in any form of reasonable detail too much of what's in your vortex. That's why trust is a necessary thing. Trust in what? In the process, in the way it works. Feel the trend of who you are coming in. In other words, you are source energy. You are liquid love. You are in this physical body, and you've come to enjoy the inevitable expansion. The inevitable expansion. So you said, I'll explore. I'll decide for myself what preferences I find. Those preferences will automatically become received by my inner being and held there. My inner being, who's the strongest point of our team of attraction, my inner being will hold attention to not just what I asked for just now, but how it fits in with everything else I've ever asked for. Did you hear that? That was big. And will offer a vibrational frequency that I have access to because it was born from me. It's connected to me. It is me. And as it becomes, I will feel it. I will feel the calling. I will feel the satisfaction of it. And so there are a lot of times you'll get an impulse to do something that you just can't even match it up with anything that you thought you wanted to do. You thought you wanted to go that way and your inner being's calling you over there, and then you thought you wanted to go that way and your inner being's calling you over there. Then all of a sudden over there, now I know why I'm over here. That makes sense. Doesn't that happen to you all the time?
I guess it does.
Yeah. So just take it easy. Don't try to be too heady about it. Trust the process. What's the process? Step 1 is where I did most of my work. Step 2 is where Source steps in and does all that work. Step 3 is where I let myself receive the benefit of the work that all of us did. How do I know I'm doing that? I feel frisky. I feel happy. I feel interested. I feel eager. I don't feel yearning. I don't feel determined. I don't feel invincible. I feel invincible, but not invincible. You've got the hang of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Really good.